So we want to make a quick video. We're here with RJ. We're here in Atlanta again. It's our third time. We've seen certainly over 100 houses now on our 3 trips here with RJ. But we wanted to look at where in Atlanta to buy, where not to buy, and why. Brendon, give us some details. You know, there's some opportunities in South Africa at the moment that are being financed, but you've got to look at the quality. You've got to be able to compare an apple with an apple. So we wanted to ask you, firstly, just how long have you been in the Atlanta area? How long have you been looking at properties in this area? How well do you know the different suburbs?
Well, we know the suburbs extremely well. The counties are very important, but it's been about 6 years since we've really planted ourselves here.
And tell us just a little bit before we get into suburbs. I know you started in the lower end of the market and you had tenant problems, and you've moved into the certainly the first-time homeowners market, you know, quality properties like what we got. Tell us a little bit about that story.
Well, basically, most people when they come into a new area, they really don't know it that well. And it depends who you talk to. You can get good advice, you can get bad advice. And like most people, we got bad advice and we bought houses in the wrong area. And there's certainly areas that you should stay out of that aren't going to go up in value. You might get a high cash flow initially, but once that tenant moves out and you do the rehab for the second and third time, you're going to want to shoot yourself in the foot, or you're going to want to sell that house and you're only going to be able to sell it to another investor. So we avoid that stuff. And we're talking about counties to the south like Clayton and stuff to the east and DeKalb that are very tricky. It looks like nice houses, but you really don't know what you don't know till you get there. So we avoid it. We've gone up the ladder because the big issue that we have right now is all the equity funds that are buying here, chasing the prices and moving everything up, absorbing the existing inventory. What used to be, when these guys first got here, was a buyer's market has now turned into a seller's market.
So if we could just mention a couple of areas here. I know you haven't even been checked or vetted or anything. I'm just going to hit you with a few
Sure.
of them and then just give us your opinion here. We've got an address here, Lithonia, Georgia. What's that like?
It's called Lithonia. It's in the county of DeKalb, and there's a lot of tricky spots there. It's an area where the court system is very pro-tenant, unlike other areas, and we've had issues over there. Or that's not true, actually. We've heard of issues over there from people that live here that it's a very bad place to have to go to eviction court. But they've got some gang issues over there. And basically, we've got a couple of houses in good pockets. It's tricky. You got to be careful. You got to know somebody that knows the area when you buy there.
So let's mention another one, Decatur.
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 Pronounce these
The
things
South
all wrong.
Africans got a different word from everything. I need a translator.
Hey, we taught you one though, Goshawk.
You taught me more than that, but we're not going to go there right now. But Decatur can be a great area. It's an area of what we call regentrification, where there's people moving into the area, but Decatur also has a lot of pockets of bad areas as well. And it's a lot of older houses in most cases. It's older houses at 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, but just small ranches. Really not the stuff that's going to bounce up in value like the stuff that we're looking at. We want to buy newer houses that don't have old problems associated with them.
What was that area near the airport that we were talking about this morning?
That was Lithonia, and then there's another one, Hiram?
Hiram is a good area.
Is that good?
Yeah, Hiram is farther north. That's up in Paulding County. We have houses up there. That's a good area. Near the airport, you may be talking about Fulton County, and it's really sketchy around the airport because there's a lot of areas that what we refer to as a lower socioeconomic. Specifically, there's an area there called College Park. Very tricky. You know, it's really subdivision by subdivision, and then you got to realize, well, if I buy next door to the bad one and I'm in a good one, well, what stops those people from coming over? So what do? We basically avoid those areas.
So basically, in 30 seconds, what are the top kind of the areas that we should be looking at and the top type of properties so that we can take advantage of this amazing opportunity here in Atlanta?
Well, there's more than 3 top areas. We like things in Carroll County, Douglas County. We like Gwinnett County. We like Newton. We like Rockdale. We like Henry. We like Paulding. We like Spalding. And we don't like ants. Excuse me. Okay. Those are the areas that we look for. But what we really look for within those areas, it's like the game within the game. Because in every one of those counties, you got good areas, you got bad areas, you got okay areas. They all don't go to the same school system. So you've got to really take a look. There's a lot more research behind their research to make sure that you're in the right spot. And the only way you can really get that is by being feet in the street. You got to be out there doing it every day. And you know what? In most cases, you could drive through a subdivision and pretty much decide in a few minutes if that's a place that you like to invest your money.
We've spent a lot of time here in Covington today. Can you give us a little bit of information about that?
Covington's a great area to invest in. We've got, gosh, I don't know how many properties, but I bet we got about 50 just in Covington alone. And we find it easier to rent houses here. There's some good school systems here. There's some other systems that aren't nearly as good. So we try to buy in those better school systems. But we're constantly buying in the subdivisions that are well taken care of, not the stuff that's lower end, lower socioeconomic. It's a good area.
And just lastly, I mean, from our perspective, you know, we believe that when it comes to property, I mean, we could drive around Atlanta. There's 6 million people here. We could drive around Atlanta for the next 6 months looking for property. Our belief system is that we invest in people, not in property. And I think one thing that differentiates you, RJ, from everyone else is that you put your money where your mouth is. I mean, this house behind us here, you've actually bought it. You've been to the auction. You've put your cash down. You're not just promoting it to someone else.
Absolutely. You know, the thing that most people have to be afraid of is when somebody's selling something, you got to find out how did they get associated even with that property. And sometimes people that work on commissions are dangerous because they're just looking to get a paycheck. They don't really care what happens to you once you invest. They just got your money, they're gone, they got their piece and they're gone. Not like these guys, to their credit, they've come over here, they vetted us out 3 times. They make us drive them around, feed them, give them adult beverages. You know, they're very expensive to keep around. I can't wait for them to get the hell out of here, to be honest with you. But the truth is, this house behind us, we actually did not buy it at auction. This one we bought from a distressed asset manager is what we got this house from. And this thing was under contract for about 7 months before it finally closed. Just another aggravating short sale that's really a long sale in this country.
Oh, awesome, man.
Cool. Thank you very
Thanks
much,
so much,
RJ.
eh?
My pleasure,
Cheers,
guys.
mate.
Time for some
Okay.